President, I move that this House A notes that during the budget estimates hearing of the Standing Committee on Estimates and Financial Operations on 24th of June 2026, evidence was given that approximately 251 complaints relating to around 50 local governments had been received during the first 5 months of operation of the local government inspector. B further notes evidence given during the hearing that complaint numbers have approximately doubled compared with the previous local government complaints regime. C acknowledges that effective independent oversight is essential to maintaining public confidence in local government. D considers that regular parliamentary engagement with the local government inspector would assist in assessing whether the new oversight framework is improving governance standards across the local government sector. E recognises the role of the Standing Committee on Public Administration in consulting regularly with a number of independent statutory office holders whose work assists Parliament in overseeing public administration, and thanks the members and the staff of that committee for their work. F requests the committee include the local government inspector among those statutory office holders with whom it consults regularly during the 42nd Parliament and inform all members so they may elect to participate in such hearings.
Members, the Honourable Rod Caddies has moved that motion. The question is the motion be agreed. The Honourable Rod Caddies.
Thank you, President. Now, I rise to speak on the matters that affect West Australian, the governance of our local councils. All across this state, the local government is where the rubber hits the road. Rates, roads, rubbish collection, planning approvals, community facilities. These are the services that families and businesses rely on every single day. When local government works well, communities thrive. When it falters, the cost and the frustration lands squarely on ratepayers. As the leader of One Nation in Western Australia and a member with deep regional roots running a family business in the southwest, I've seen firsthand how local governments working well actually help. Sorry, I lost my train of thought where I was going there. Anyway, I'll move on. That's why I bring forward this motion. We need to strengthen and restore, the confidence and faith people have in the community of local government. It's not about tearing down the system. It's about making sure that the new oversight arrangements actually deliver the outcomes without tipping it into excessive central control from Perth. Now, let me start with the facts that prompted this motion. During the budget estimates hearing of the Standing Committee of Estimates and Financial Operations on the 24th of June, just a couple of months back, we received important evidence that, about the new local government inspector. In the first 5 months of operation, the inspector received approximately 251 complaints relating to around 50 local governments. That is roughly double the volume seen under the previous complaints regime. Now think about that. We're not talking about minor administrative hiccups. These complaints come from elected councillors, they come from council staff, members of the public and numerous different people. They cover behavioural breaches, general governance issues, allegations of misconduct and many more other issues there. So the new system is clearly more accessible or there are more issues surfacing. Either way, this jump demands serious parliamentary attention. Not just a quick note in a report. It needs more detail. It needs to really be looked at better than just one report on that issue. Now, the Inspector's Office only became fully operational on the 1st of January this year, and we're still in early days, so plenty to sort of see as we move forward. Now is exactly the right time to put in place proper, ongoing scrutiny where we can track whether this reform is strengthening local governments or creating new problems. Now, I'll sort of go on to why it matters. I mean, effective independent oversight is not optional. It is essential to maintaining public confidence. Western Australians expect their councils to be clean, competent and responsive. When scandals or dysfunction hit the headlines, and we've seen countless amounts of them, over various councils over the years, it erodes trust. And it's something that we really don't want happening. We don't want that trust in them local councils being eroded. So ratepayers pay the price through higher charges and poorer services. At the same time, we must be clear-eyed about the risks of overcorrection. Local government is a distinct sphere of democracy. Councillors are elected by their communities. They understand the local conditions far better than distant people, distant bureaucrats, probably more important for regional areas where people in Perth, they would know what's happening in their communities out there, because a lot of, I think, the issues around Perth are probably similar, but when you get out into the regions, it's really important to have that local understanding. Now, heavy-handed state intervention, whether through administrators, endless compliance demands or mission creep by oversight bodies, can undermine that local mandate. We have to strike the right balance, like enough oversight to root out the real problems, but not so much that councils spend more time filling out forms than delivering what they need to be delivering for their residents. Now, in regional Western Australia especially, where resources are tighter and distances are greater, excessive red tape from the state simply makes life harder for small business owners, farmers and families. The creation of the independent local government inspector was part of the state government's local government reform package. On paper, it has strengths. It allows earlier intervention, it provides a single point for complaints, and it can offer education and compliance support. So it's a good thing. That is welcome. No one here wants to see dysfunctional councils wasting public money. But early data already raises questions. The doubling of complaints could mean the system is working as intended, shining a light on issues previously swept under the carpet. Or it could signal teething problems, more vexatious complaints, resource strain on smaller councils, or a shift towards a more punitive, top-down approach. We simply don't know that yet. That is why passive observation is not enough. We need active, regular parliamentary engagement to test outcomes. Are governance standards actually improving? Are ratepayers seeing better value? Are councils able to focus on their core job, or are they drowning in another layer of bureaucracy? This motion offers a sensible, low-cost way to do exactly that. It proposes regular engagement between the Parliament and the local government inspector. Now, not a one-off inquiry that gathers dust, but a steady oversight across the life of the 42nd Parliament over the next 3 years. I mean, if we look at it over the next few years, it gives you a really good understanding of what's happening in that process. So, as I spoke about earlier, knowing whether it's actually working or whether it's causing more problems and highlighting things that aren't really a problem. So, now we already have the perfect vehicle, that's the Standing Committee on Public Administration. This committee has a strong track record of consulting regularly with independent statutory office holders, the Ombudsman, the Public Sector Commissioner, and among others. So their work helps all of us in this place fulfil our oversight responsibilities. Now, I want to place on the record my thanks to the members of that committee for the professional way they carry out this important role. My motion simply requests that the committee add the local government inspector to the list of statutory office holders it consults on a regular basis. I also ask that members of the House be informed, so any of us who wish to attend and contribute to those hearings may do so. This is inclusive, it's transparent. We always talk about transparency, so I think it's a good thing to have that extra transparency, and it leverages existing structures rather than creating a new one. And it keeps the focus where it belongs, on Parliament holding the system to account rather than leaving everything to the executive arm of government. Now, in conclusion, over the next 3 years, this Parliament will have a chance to see whether this new oversight framework strengthens, the local government or whether weakens it by having the local government inspector consult with the Standing Committee on Public Administration and allowing all members of Parliament to participate. We can deliver a constructive forum to resolve issues and make progress. My motion gives us that opportunity to make this happen. And I think the Standing Committee has the existing policies and procedures to effectively deal with any of the matters that may arise moving along. Now, I'll address one obvious concern that some members may have in relation to the Standing Committee on Public Administration being weaponised by vexatious parties which can unfairly destroy reputations and livelihoods. This is of course a real concern, but I note that the committee process allows hearings to be taken on camera when needed. But having a channel for community members to raise matters relating to local governments via the Parliament promotes public confidence. It respects local democracy, and it's in the spirit of working together in a non-partisan manner to get fair and just outcomes, for all constituents. Now, I urge all the members to support it. I mean, let us work together to ensure that West Australians' local councils can focus on what matters the most, and that's delivering for their communities without the unnecessary burdens from above. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, a high trust culture where people feel heard and fairly treated. I think as many of us all would agree that's what we all want at the end of the day. So we will also support the local government inspector. The person in the role will be able to raise awareness of the issues with members of Parliament. And members, this motion is about working together in a constructive way to get good outcomes for our democracy, for our community. It's not about attacking anyone. I hope that's what I've sort of been saying. This is about transparency. It's about due process, natural justice, integrity, fairness and cooperation. So I just think if we can implement something that makes things more transparent and there's a lot of accountability there, and it just takes away any sort of doubt in people's minds that what's happening is unfair or unjust. It'll be all out there in the open, very transparent for people to make up their own minds. So, yeah, I hope that everybody agrees in this House that it would be a good thing moving forward and that you would support this motion. So I commend this motion to the House. Thank you, Acting President. Now, I'll start by thanking everyone for contributing it. As you can see, I brought this obviously before the House because I thought it would be a good idea just to, have a little bit extra there. It was already great, and I thank the Honourable Samantha Rowe for the response from the government and commend the government that they had already started by, initially putting the inspector in place. So that was already something they were doing about it. And this is just a little bit extra on top of that, just to add even, more confidence for the people of Western Australia. So I thank the government for supporting the motion. Thank the Honourable Rob Horseman for his contribution. It was very elaborate and lots there to take away from that. It was, a fair bit in there to unpack. I won't go into it because everyone's listened, but yeah, thank you for that contribution. It really did bring a lot of light to things within local government. The Honourable Brad Pettit, we heard he's had 12 odd years in, local government, and he highlighted, the great work and not obviously just because of himself, but he's aware of the great work that goes on in local government. And I totally agree that I've met so many people that work in local government that are just putting in all their effort. It's not always a thankful job. It's a community-based job. They're doing it because they love the community, or at least they should be. And I'll talk about a bit that after the Honourable Michelle Hoffman. It was a great contribution. Thanks for that, and supporting it in, bringing in more technical about the AI and when the select committee come about and all that history on that. That was really good to hear that. What's great is that everybody that contributed today just came from a different angle. It was really good. Everybody's contribution had something different and highlighted different areas of local government and what that means. Thank you to the Honourable Dr. Brian Walker. Again, he highlighted the different angles of the pressures. His angle was about the pressures of people who are in local government and the targeted attacks that can come on them for, their representation. Sometimes we all know you have to make tough decisions, and in local government it's no different. There's things you have to vote on, and you're looking at budgets and you're doing things. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that get targeted at local government level on that personal basis because they are interacting with the members, a lot closer than we are at state and federal level. I thank the Honourable Kate Doust. Again, she talked about the different, she explained thinking that there was diverse views, personality bases, rather than issues based. There's so many different personalities in local government. She mentioned that sometimes it is hard. We know at state level we have our parties and we have our aligned sort of policies and values, but when you're at local government level, you've basically got a room of all different people. It's not a party, it's a group of individuals all having their own. And so the Honourable Kate Doust highlighted that, which was I totally agree with. It's probably one reason I wouldn't want to be in local government, having to deal with so many personalities. I think their job probably is even harder than ours, trying to come to a consensus on them things. So, again, she mentioned the same, the AI stuff that the Honourable Michelle Hoffman had brought up initially and talked about, whether complaints are genuine or whether they're AI, it was mentioned that we get them in our emails, but it's pretty hard these days because people are trying to combat local government members and state members and everything using AI against people. So there's always going to, end up bringing up a lot more stuff. Thanks to the Honourable Phil Scott, my colleague, talking about the politics within local government, and the Honourable Anthony Spagnolo for his contribution. I'm running out of time, so I'll basically I just want to finish off with again thanking the Public Administration Committee of the Honourable Kate Doust, Honourable Michelle Hoffman, the Honourable Pierre Yang, the Honourable Dr. Brian Walker and the Honourable Marika Gronwald, because I'm on a committee, most of us are, we know that this does bring extra workload, and I'm aware of that. So I appreciate that will bring some extra workload and yeah, that it's, but I think it is for a worthy cause. With the 10 seconds I got left, the Honourable Anthony Spagnola mentioned FOGO, and there is a lot of confusion out there on what you actually meant to use it for, what goes in it, who's responsible, state, local. So.
Members, the question is the motion be agreed. All those of that opinion say aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it.